Right, welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We have new storyboards which reveal Zack Snyder's original plan for a Justice League trilogy. So we're going to cover it today. If you want to check all of this out, the link is down below in the description box to this article. It's interesting. That's what I'll say. It's interesting. I haven't quite absorbed whether it's good or not yet. I know there'll be a lot of people that will just out and out say, yep, it's amazing. I don't know whether I think that yet or not. I'm genuinely not sure. Some of the characterizations seem out of character. Especially Bruce, actually. Batman. So let's go into it, shall we? So, now, basically, you know, there was a Justice League exhibit, blah, blah, blah. AT&T hosted gallery in Dallas that wasn't actually opened at the time the images made their way to the internet. So Snyder's storyboards offer a glimpse into the director's full plans for the Justice League, as is the general idea behind similar such pre-planning. That's pretty standard. Now, they were shared by Stephanie, My Nerdy Home, actually follower of the channel, so hey there. And here they are, right? So Justice League Parts 2 and 2A. Interesting. Although originally pitched as one film, we believe the character arcs of our heroes and villains, along with the epic battle with Darkseid, which unites the League, the world, and the entire DC universe, warrants 2 films. However, this does not mean that you have 2 films centered on Darkseid's invasion. Rather, Justice League 2 would be a very grounded, personal, and character-driven film that would follow the Justice League both together and separately as they mend old wounds on the road to becoming better and stronger heroes, while Lex Luthor recruits a league of his own, made up of revenge-driven villains introduced in the Heroes solo films. Dr. Maru, I'm butchering that, I can't really read it properly, apologies for that. Len Snart, The Flash, Orm and Black Manta, and the Riddler for Batman. Now, these villains would link all of the DC films together. Like Empire Strikes Back in the last Harry Potter films, Justice League 2 would end with a cliffhanger, revealing only at the end of the film Lex and his League are connected to Darkseid, then flash forwarding 5 years into the future where Darkseid has taken Earth. Now, the heroes are throughout parts 2 and 2A. You'll have to forgive me because some of these are like they're on billboards and there's a lot of reflection on them. With Lois's help, the back from the dead Superman will learn to become Clark Kent again, feeling more human than ever, and he and Lois basically start a family. Wonder Woman will reconnect with the Amazonians and her mother, eventually becoming their new queen and rejoining the isolationist warriors with the outside world. Aquaman, with the help of Mira, will bring the 7 kingdoms together, becoming the one true king, building a new alliance between the oceans and the surface. The Flash will free himself from the past, releasing his father from prison with Cyborg's help, and learning now to master his time-traveling abilities, literally becoming able to be in 2 places at once. Don't really like that one. Cyborg will evolve both into the modern-day god of the digital age and into a human once again. Batman will ultimately sacrifice his life for these unlikely friends and the woman he loves, leaving behind a legacy that will never truly die. So that's the character outline. Now, here we go into Justice League 2. So, Justice League United. We open with the Justice League in action during a natural disaster, working as the efficient, powerful team they've become. Weeks after Justice League 1, they act together, they save lives, but they're refugees, so political tensions is high, the world is on edge. In the aftermath, the Justice League at the only headquarters they know, the Batcave, reconvene or rejoin, I guess. Flash is enthusiastic while Superman remains a bit distant, at least with Batman and Aquaman is facing a continued skepticism of the surface world and his involvement in it by the people of Atlantis. Wonder Woman relates to Arthur. Her people abandoned this world long ago. It is clear that although the League is united, the world is not. The League goes back to their individual lives to mend old wounds, except for Batman, who's dealing with fresh ones left alone in the cave. So his plan was to have Bruce and Lois Lane date, basically. They were going to fall in love. He was going to create this love triangle. So Bruce secretly meets with Lois, both of them still searching for Lex Luthor. There's tension between them since Superman has returned. The meeting ends after Lois tells Bruce that Superman needs her more than ever. Bruce knows Lois is hiding something. Lex Luthor recruiting his own league. Meanwhile, deep in the Brazilian jungle, Lex locates Dr. Maru, last seen in Wonder Woman, still alive. Experimenting on herself, prolonging her life, and testing new chemical weapons on unfortunate human lab rats. Like an obsessed stalker, Maru has spent decades collecting information and artifacts on Diana and the Amazons. Now that Diana has become known to the world, Lex offers Maru a chance at revenge. The same revenge he wants on Diana's friends, Superman and Batman. Maru accepts, Lex smiles, then let it begin. In the Atacama Desert, with Maru's help, Lex breaks Orm and Black Manta out of the desert prison where they were imprisoned at the end of Aquaman. Outside of the central city in Iron Heights Penitentiary, Lex finds Len Snart, where he was left in the Flash, and offers Len a chance to advance his weaponry and take down the fastest man alive. And there's obviously some imagery and things like that. And it looks pretty cool. Although I do wonder, when did Lex lose his big dumb wig that he was wearing? Now, intercut Lex and the villains with the Justice League returning to their lives. So in Metropolis, Superman asked Lois when she was going to tell him. Tell you what, Clark, I think that says. Superman says he can hear this second heartbeat and she shouldn't call him Clark. Clark is dead. The world believes that too. Superman mistakes Lois's hesitation for fear. It won't hurt you, he says. Obviously talking about, an unborn baby. At the Louvre in Paris, Diana and something, again, can barely read some of this stuff, the Amazon who came to warn Diana about Steppenwolf, discover there may be a way to remember the path back to Themyscira. Diana must use the lasso on herself to unlock her mind. It's a dangerous process, but Diana wants the help. So Diana wants to see her mother again, and even if she might reject her. Diana puts the lasso on, and suddenly she's overwhelmed by visions. In the beginning, they're wonderful. For the first time in over a century, Diana sees her home. Soaring over the island, she sees the Amazons. And finally, her mother, but then her visions grow dark, and Diana sees herself as the god of war in a battle with Superman. As she kills him, Diana cries out. That's quite cool. I don't hate that, and obviously there's the imagery there, and I think that's quite cool. I don't know how it would work in action, but it's still quite cool. In Central City Courthouse, Barry is at the hearing thanks to Cyborg, Iris, and a troupe of lawyers from Wayne. The state has examined new evidence that Barry and Vic have presented and agree to reopen the case, obviously for, Barry's father. Along an underwater continental shelf, Aquaman and Mera are in a violent battle with the last of the Seven Kingdoms, the Unseen. It explodes around tidal pools and active volcanoes, lava flows. Arthur has the Seventh King on the ground. He's trident at his throat, and the Seventh King tells him to kill him. Arthur says he wants an alliance, but the Seventh King refuses. Arthur leaves frustrated. The last kingdom refuses to unite. Then we go to the Batcave. So Cyborg upgrades the cave, even providing a female AI voice for Alfred, who has become a father figure of sorts, looking at the empty cave around them. Providing a female AI voice for Alfred. Why would he need a female? Right, whatever. That's odd. I don't really get that, but fine. Now, looking at the empty cave around them, Cyborg asks Alfred, why is he never home? Alfred solemnly replies, because then he'd have to face himself. Batman and Lois on the hunt for Lex Luthor. So they basically go and hunt for Lex Luthor. That's really not that good in terms of the story specifically. Just Batman moves deep into the Canadian wilderness. doing recon, following up on a lead that Lex may have been sighted in one of the remote towns. He fights his way through a secret location only to discover not Lex Luthor hiding out, but the Riddler. Awake for days, apparently, maybe weeks. Riddler has a long, unkept beard, his fingers dirty, his rantings written across the walls of his cabin. And he looks at Batman, a man possessed. Luthor asks the questions. I had to know the answers. Okay. Lois is also on Luthor's trail. She's located Dr. Maru's lair in the Brazilian jungle. Lois writes everything in a journal, keeping it offline and private. She grows pale as she realizes who Maru is and what Lex might be up to. He's forming a team of his own. Boom! There we go. Epic. Wow. Superman versus Darkseid. So in the Batcave, Superman, Batman, and Lois regroup. They learn of Darkseid's arrival. Superman tells Batman that this is a something fight. The gods. She's my world, he tells Bruce. Protect her. Superman flies off to confront Darkseid. After Superman leaves, Bruce and Lois argue. Bruce knows she's pregnant. Lois ends the argument by telling Bruce, "You're not the father." She tries to tell Bruce about what she's discovered with what Lex Luthor is planning, but he won't listen. See, this is the out-of-character stuff for Bruce Wayne to me. Like, he just won't listen. No, of course he would. He's the world's greatest detective. At the Three Ringers, taking in Darkseid's arrival, Lex tells Darkseid that Darkseid has the power to kill Superman. Darkseid moves forward, acknowledging Lex, and he says to Lex, "I don't want him dead. I want Superman to submit." "The girl," says Lex. "She's the key to breaking his spirit." So Superman arrives and a battle with Darkseid erupts. This is really cool imagery. I really love this. Straight out of a comic book. It looks cool. But Darkseid booms to Lois, the Batcave collapsing around her, and Batman at his arrival. Bruce looks down at Darkseid and Lois from behind the glass wall above. Darkseid stares at Lois. Bruce is overwhelmed. What can he do? Apparently just cry like a bitch. Superman flies at incredible speed to Gotham. He arrives just in time to see Darkseid unleashing his Omega beams from his eyes, turning Lois into ash. And that's like, what? Okay. Interesting. Superman cries out, his soul shatters. And he moves to tear Darkseid apart. But Darkseid gazes at him, the power of the anti-life coursing through his veins. Superman stops, his mind infected by Darkseid. Bruce watches it all in horror. Superman turns his head in pain, eyes burning. I mean, it's pretty horrendous, but okay, I get it. Sure. Back in the Canadian wilderness, Batman faces off against the Riddler. He tells Bruce about how Lex came to him for information. Lex presented the anti-life equation, the riddle of life itself, and the Riddler solved it. He knows what it can do, and once it's unlocked, Lex will make life meaningless. The Riddler raises a gun, but points it at his own head. Time to solve the last riddle. Blam. And yeah, Batman's shocked as Riddler kills himself. I find some of these things quite odd. It sounds like they'd be cool on film, but I think I don't know, it's not cool. I think some of it's a bit out of character. Now, the Justice League members unite with their families. Wonder Woman and Menelip arrive in Themyscira. Diana is unsure what her mother's reaction will be, but a tearful and overjoyed Hippolyta embraces her. The Queen declares there will be a celebration unlike any other in Amazon history. Her daughter is home. In the oceans, Aquaman and Mera bring the final kingdom of the Seven, the Unseen, into their alliance. For the first time since Atlantis sank, it is once again united. The Central Kingdom, for the first time since he was a kid, there is no wall of glass between Barry and his father. Oh, Central City, sorry. Henry Allen is released from prison, exonerated. Barry's about to tell his father where he is. And in Metropolis, Lois returns to Superman. Tells him she something except Clark is gone. She has to accept Clark is gone, I guess. But she has to go still off the trail of Lex. What? So Lois is back from the dead? I don't get this. Whatever. In Gotham, Batman returns from the wilderness. Shaken by the Riddler's proclamation. Intercut with Lois discovering from General Switchback that Lex has become the 3 mother boxes. Oh no. Lex then activates his plan. At the 3 rivers, helicopters survey the area. Lex is on the scene with his team. But in contact with him, Lex activates the boxes. His true plan to destroy the Justice League and take this secret power called the anti-life equation for his own. It will give him power over all living life. The anti-life equation grows as Lex turns on the boxes. I don't understand why the boxes are... how they are linked to the anti-life equation specifically, but okay. Cyborg blinks, feeling a horrible emptiness as the influx of data stops for the first time since he first went online, and a boom tube erupts in front of Lex, surprising him. Emerging from the portal, Darkseid, the horrific sadistic servant of his master Darkseid, who Emery's behind him. Darkseid takes the power of the anti-life for himself. Okay. Sure. The Justice League under attack. Before Lois is able to warn everyone. But Lois was dead. I'm so confused. Signals his team to attack. On Themyscira, Dr. Maru unleashes a chemical gas that covers the island and kills the Amazons. Even Diana, who dies in her mother's arms. Maru dies herself. A sick and twisted smile on her face. In Atlantis, Orm and Black Manta attack the coronation, killing Arthur. Mira barely surviving herself and a cut across her face. In Central City, I think that says, Lex attacks Flash with his amped up weapons courtesy of Luthor. Was that Len? I can't read, sorry. Cyborg is something saving. Barry losing his father. And then 5 years later, sand dunes, smouldering solar pits, gothic spires rising from the desert. Once that this was Gotham, now like the rest of Earth, it belongs to the dark side. Coming over the June post-apocalyptic Batman, as seen in BVS, with a ragtag army of rebels, the surviving members of the Justice League walk over the rise of June to see the dilapidated Wayne Manor. Batman leads them. Flash drags what's left of Cyborg behind him. Bruce looks up to the sky. Grimly, we need to get inside before night. He's coming. End of part 1. And then it just sort of continues. Like, there's so much of this stuff. It's just so much. Like, it goes on and on and on and on and on. So then we go from... So this is Justice League 2. That was Justice League 1. This is Justice League 2. And I wonder how much of this stuff's going to be in there. So we get Green Lantern coming to a post-Darkseid Earth. So he sort of comes back. That's fine. I'm going to paraphrase a lot of this stuff. So we get Darkseid... we get Green Lantern coming back. And a lot of this stuff is reflected. I can barely read half that stuff. The Justice League regroup. But, you know, that's with Deadshot as well. And then we get the Last Supper of the Justice League. Like, okay. And then Superman arrives, faces off against the Justice League. Because obviously he's evil now. Flash is then pulled through time, which we see. And then we get more Green Lanterns coming in, basically to save the day. So Earth unites against Darkseid. Darkseid's full-scale invasion begins, and it's too much for the Justice League to handle on their own, but they won't have to. Led and inspired by Superman, the countries of the world come together. Armies, air forces, navies, Wonder Woman and her mother lead the Amazons off Themyscira to join the war. So they all sort of come down, basically. Massive war, parademons, etc. So we can see it all here, and it looks so cool. The Flash is able to move so quickly, he masters his powers, existing in 2 places at once. Unstoppable. He takes out an entire army himself. Cool. Cyborg is able to overpower the mother boxes, taking control of them. Okay, fine. And that weakens Darkseid. Alright. In the aftermath, Diana becomes the new queen. And then we get Arthur, recognized by the kingdoms, true king. Cyborg evolves, becoming a god of the digital age. Alright. Bruce is dead, so Lois mourns that. And the Superman looks closer, realizing that Lois is carrying Bruce's child. Okay, Lois admits it. Like, what? Some of this stuff's crap. Like a Lois, bloody Bruce getting off. Nah, crap. And then we get 20 years. 20 years later. Yeah. This stuff here, how this closes. So, 20 years later, after a memorial commemorating the Batman sacrifice, Commissioner Barbara Gordon asks Lois, "What are you going to tell him?" Referring to telling Lois's son the truth about his father. For the first time in decades, crime is returning to Gotham, and it needs the Batman again. Various jail members, like Martian Manhunter, present Lois, takes her son to the Batcave, and reveals the truth. That his father was Bruce Wayne, Batman. In Gotham rising from the shadows and out and into the night, we meet the all-new Batman. Like, that's, I don't know. Anyway, there you go, ladies and gents. What do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. I don't particularly like this. Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I'm quite glad this wasn't made. There's a lot of nonsense in this. It sounds very bloated. Very, very convoluted. But let me know what you think. Cheers. Take care.